So I have long been on the hunt for more games to throw you into and watch you all duke it out. And in my opinion, the more hands-off it is for me, the better. Now, RimWorld is great and I enjoy playing that game, but Motorsport Manager was the experience that it was because I didn't have to babysit you all the time, especially during the races. I don't think this is going to quite come in like that game, but I wanted to give it a try. This is Ages of Conflict. It's an early access game. Fortunately, though, I don't play it. I just run it. Let's see if we can make this work here. This game wasn't going to have any potential unless I could edit the names in the game, and I was able to do so. So let's give this a go, shall we? It's just this is just my first, let's call this a pilot run of it, because I don't know how well this is going to run. Let's go Europe, shall we? Everybody knows Europe. If I were to play this... This is very experimental, so bear with me if this doesn't work out the way I'm hoping it does. Let us crank up all the nations that we have. Is 200 too many for poor little Europe? Let's bring it to 100. Plenty of empty cities, though. Are we paused? We're not paused enough. And there are a few things I need to edit here, isn't there? Start wars, yes. Winner takes all, absolutely not. Progressive, yes. Oh, good, it's remembered my old settings here. In that case, I can explain, although I can also have chat covering up a bit too much, because for some reason I have you on opaque rather than... Where's my see-through chat? There's my see-through chat. Get up there. Right, so this is Ages of Conflict. It's not really much of a game. It's just a hands-off simulator. And I have found a way to put certain people into the game and have them duke it out. It's a grand strategy, but you don't play. You can have some god mode tools to paint and conquer and such, but we are able to put in our people, yes, including into our Irish Thunderdome. So the grabby Fall Guy is against Savs there, the Runic is there, Klusmus is there, no one's in Scotland, but we've got Bob over in England. I've shoved in 100 of you. We can shove in up to 200. Lariat, Giant Nerd Carter, Rance, Hatsune Miku, Maharaja Nick, G, and Linaru are all going to be fighting over Spain. You know what? We've got a lot of people here, but why pay attention to every single little useless person when we can just let her rip? We should be able to get updates on what's going on. Yes, we do. And it'll be easier to see who is succeeding because we'll see their name a lot bigger and brighter. So the nations, they all have their own stats. They've got their gold, they've got their combat efficiency. If either of those go to 0, they stop being able to fight and expand and they just get absolutely crushed. Ashley Graham, just conquered by Jane Shepherd, and Clifford the Big Red Dog, conquered by Mr. Moreno. Chief Irons doing well to try to unite Greece here. There's Jane Shepherd down in... who even cares who that is? Raiden in ex-Ottoman land, Rakuso. Ned Nickerson just became a puppet of Krumer. So yes, they can vassalize and diplo-annex each other. So early on, who do you think is going to do so well here? Just conquering a place isn't good enough. You actually need to core territory or else it will revolt. I can give an example of that. Krumer does not have a core on this city. I wish there was a way to auto-name the cities. And that means its revolt risk is going to grow. It goes down during peace and it grows during war. And there's a lot of war, even if it's just a minor skirmish with the Frostitute, who seems to be kicking Krumer's ass. Or am I misreading the situation? I'm absolutely misreading the situation. I don't even want to think what Krumer would be doing to a Frostitute. Nations get their income based on the lands that they own, and their military capability will somewhat randomly go up or down. My prediction is Krumer is gonna win. This supporting by money is a bit spammy, so let's not see that. Donations. Donations off, thank you. So, what I am considering is running this, maybe not down to the last one, but say the last 10. Any active chat members within the last 10 will be able to win VIP. Not going to do that now. This is our dry run with it, as it were. because I need to think of a way to very quickly edit the names list so that people that are active in chat can be brought in. I will suss that out. For now, though, let's speed her up. Let's bring her up to 3 times speed and see how things are going. So the Stay peasants are holding on to France. Brelix is down there. He's got Nice. Good man. There's still a Thunderdome over in Iberia and absolutely a Thunderdome over in Ireland here. Runic, Savs, Fall Guy, Klusmus, they're all there. Lands are connected by water straits as well, as we can see JJ Ho-Ho holding the least relevant bit of Scandinavia, which does have a border with Ashley Graham up there. There's Alice. There's Kaladin. Well-known Russophile Kaladin is up there, next to Jason Myers and Clifford the Big Red Dog. Hard battle going on in Scotland. Actually, look at Sabs. Sabs absolutely dominating there. Host with the most, making giant displaced Switzerland. We do have some extra parts here. We've got Link, we've got Count Dracula, Son Dirty and Bad Ideas guy populating Northern Africa there. And down in the Near East, there's Urangu McBain at map edge. Noodles, Grey Fox, Rook, GLaDOS. Cyprus is, of course, split into 2, as we all know. Chung Yu Shang holding land over here. Biotic God Volus is back again. My beloved prophet. Oh, so Baron, Harkonnen, Krumer, Stay Peasant, Savs, all doing pretty well for themselves, but they're close to each other, so they're bound to fight. And when they fight, heavens knows how that's going to do. Urangu will bully the nerd. No, the game has no navies. Doesn't even really have armies. All fighting is abstracted away. If you have better combat ability than your foe, you'll probably beat them. But if you don't have money, you'll eventually run out of money, like Clifford the Big Red Dog is about to run out of dosh. Okay, he made peace just before that, but if you run out of money, your line just collapses. Same if you run out of combat ability. I'm trying to find someone who's out of money. We can have a quick look at statistics if we want to look at people with money. Rakuso, Kaladin, Stay Peasant, Mike Mapu, all filthy rich, but war is very expensive. And poor host of the most is about to find that war can be very detrimental as they get completely destroyed by Mr. Moreno. Rakusu, Black Ball Bouncer, is over here, staring over the Black Sea, wondering how they're going to cope with Mega Man and Melodiana. The pig is consuming Mike Mapu. So the pig takes these lands and again needs to core these, but coring takes money, and it takes more and more money the more cities you have. Sabs is demolishing their way into Stay Peasant, so France isn't having a good time, but Marvin Branach is having a very bad time of it. There's something very Polish about this situation here. He's got no ability to fight, although he does have money. He's soon going to find himself with not a lot of anything. Will he even survive? No. Goodbye, Marvin Branach. But if you die, that is not the end. If there is a revolt, nations can come back, and sometimes they can come back even stronger because they get cores and lands that they revolt from. Mega Man's not looking too good. The pig's troops are attacking. What happened to Kaladin? I'm not seeing... Oh, there's Kaladin. I see that perhaps his economy wasn't helping out too much. He's right next to Speed Racist. I don't think they're long for the world over in the corner there. Got to hand it over to Sabs, though. If they can keep a good thumb over the Irish, they might just end up being one of the powerhouses here. See, there we go. The pig had revolts. Biotic God Volus had Stay Peasants break out of them, but the pig had Fat Miner, Meta Knight, and Marvin Branach all revolt out. Will he be able to reconquer them? Well, that's for the pig to decide. The pig is better when fighting defensively, as we know. The Black Sea looks like a ball sack someone paid too much attention to. What? Oh wait, no, I don't want to go there. Rook's doing all right, but Rook is failing to take care of GLaDOS. Love seeing Chief Irons alive or dead. Who is doing this? Stankmut is on a rampage. Look at all this land being taken, but it's also being fought back. They got good money and good combat ability, but ooh, that didn't work out so well. Massive revolts, JJ Ho-Ho, Baron Harkonnen, Brenda Carlton, all out of there. Let's speed things right up. Sabs is filthy rich. Typical British things. Can you deal with Dark Mistress, though? Maybe you'll expand into Scandinavia or further down into France. Krumer's doing a great job, just stands to reason. You hold much of Germany. You are an absolute powerhouse, destroying Brenda. Oh, my beloved Krumer, one of my favorite characters from the Banner Saga. I wonder if I put my name in the list twice, says Savs. Are you here twice? I just see you here. But then, I'm not known for noticing things. Can someone please explain the procedure here for me? You must ask specific questions to get specific answers. If you mean how the game works, there are just nations that have land, combat ability, and gold. They fight wars, expand, take land, and get gold from it, but if they ever run out of combat efficiency or gold, they'll find themselves utterly crushed in a war. Can we find someone with 0 gold? Well, Clifford the Big Red Dog doesn't have a lot of gold, but not a lot of anything, frankly. Host of the Most looking quite poor as well. This money goes vastly down when people start coring. Check Iceland. Oh, would you look at that? Another Savs. We must have your name in the names list twice then. How very greedy, but what's more reasonable is that I accidentally copy-pasted you in twice. I can't believe you can't deal with Grabby Fall Guy and the Runic. You haven't even subjugated them. In fact, you've allied with them. You are part of the Savs Syndicate, which includes your Irish friends. Seems to be working for you, though. You are decimating the Stay peasants. Could come down to a clash between Savs, Krumer, and Stankmut, but we don't know how things are going to go. Chief Irons is on yet another rampage, but his line collapsed and he couldn't maintain the fronts. Eternal Ace has largely united the Italians. The Northern Africans are doing sod all. Rook's doing really good over in Anatolia. Chief Irons is on the rampage again because he's part of the Chief Irons Union with Eternal Ace. Eternal Ace probably does not feel very good about the naming of this alliance, but I must say the combination of Italy and Greece is strong. Very strong. Mr. Moreno is not looking so hot for this. What sort of God mode influence do you have? An excellent question. So we've been staring at this for a wee while. Let's see what kind of tools we have available. We can look at the different alliances that we have. So we can see that the anti-UK alliance contains the Stay peasants and half of Iberia. Is this an alliance? No, it doesn't look like it. Stankmut's together with the Dark Mistress, and Krumer doesn't have a lot of friends. He's got Greater Estonia on his side. What else do we see here? We can see who's puppeting who. Kind of. I think these are people you've killed, not puppets that you have. Right, I see. It shows who are puppet masters. I'm not sure if it shows who the puppets are, though. God knows, not clear. We can see the wars. We can see who makes the most money. Stankmut's getting filthy rich. Krumer's doing pretty well. And then terrain. Terrain's probably a bit useless, so I prefer just to keep it on diplomatic map mode. As for God mode tools, what can we do? Now, I don't like doing any God mode stuff, because I just want to have things running hands off, just like how I played Motorsport Manager. The most invasive thing I ever did was tell my character to pit once so that he would actively lose. And I gotta say, the NPC Master Racing team weren't happy about that. We can spawn nations, we can paintbrush territory, we can add cities, we can edit the terrain. We can loop the map, we can prevent people from starting wars, change a few of the game rules. I've already tweaked this after playing it through hands off a few times to do what I think is the best. There are unifications, but it looks really silly. You end up with a nation that's called Chief Iron Melodiana Rooknoodle, and it just looks horrible, so I've turned that off. It's a way for two nations to peacefully become one. All in all, though, I'm quite happy with it. You can turn off revolts, but revolts keep things interesting, because if a nation overexpands, there should be consequences for it. Anyway, away you go. What other statistics are there to look at? I don't think any of it's quite as interesting as gold. Maybe income. But income isn't what you have to spend. Income is still quite interesting, but gold also reflects income to a degree. Anyway, I'll keep it on that, and we'll get it back underway. I hope Savs kills Savs someday. EU4 looking interesting in 2025. How is combat efficiency calculated? Best I understand is that it just randomly goes up or down. We do have progressive combat efficiency turned on. Efficiency changes gradually. Although how exactly it changes is beyond me. It's not the be-all and end-all on its own, though. Money is also important, because if money goes to nothing, you're just unable to defend your nation at all. Whoa, okay. How long will the Chief Irons union between Chief Irons and Eternal Ace last? Because they are really sharing those borders now. Stankmut's getting revolts up the wazoo and is dealing with them. Stay is eating Krumer. Krumer believers get blown out. One of my favorite Banner Saga characters is about to die. Oh god, Rakusa! Rakusa's on a rampage! Goodbye, Chief Irons. Oh, okay. I think Rakusa ran out of money there towards the end because Chief Irons started counterattacking. But they made peace. Savs is not capitalizing. Savs is actually losing a bit of ground. Oh dear. They lost a little tip of Blighty. And now, who even was that there? That was what's left of Blue trying to get their foot in. We started with 100 nations. Now we're down to 34. Yeah, the Eternal Ace Italian Union is proving a little problematic. Oh, God! What is this man having for breakfast? He's eating them all. He's so strong, but he's hemorrhaging gold. Just look at that one go down and down. Bye, Savs. There's no way he's going to hold on to all this land. There's going to be revolts here, there, and everywhere. He's also taking the fight to the Northern Africans. Good lord. And I gotta say, the USSR is doing not too shabby under Stankmut here. What about poor old Clifford the Big Red Dog? Are we so vain? Rook must be looking on with horror at what's going on. Stankmut's getting collapsed by rebels, but is gobbling them up. If it's green, it's cored. If it's white, it's not cored. If he can defeat the rebellions, it's not too big a deal, but they do keep rising up because his land is very unstable. What surprises me is that Eternal Ace isn't facing Endless Revolts. Krumer tries to come back. Endless Ace destroys it, but Endless Ace has so much money. They've got the highest gold in the game, but Chief Irons, despite being trimmed down a lot, does have a very stable region. Look at that, it's all cored. So his combat efficiency is middling. His gold is good, and he's full of cores, though. If he can strike out, he'll do very well. And he has maintained the Chief Irons Alliance. How could Eternal Ace stand for that being called the Chief Irons Alliance? How can Stankmut handle the Dark Mistress Coalition? It's difficult for revolts to come back and actually make something of it, but it can happen, especially if multiple revolts happen at once. Maharaja Nick's doing a great job of... was doing a great job in Iberia. Jings, where have I seen this kind of conflict before? Al-Andalus rises up, though. Alright, good job, Sondretti. Do we have anyone in chat who is in the game right now? Do we have Rakuso or Eternal Ace? I know Chief Irons isn't an esteemed member of my chat. He got torn in half in Resident Evil 2. But it's still unknown if he's alive or dead. Okay, so Eternal Ace got amazing borders, was unable to hold it against Maharaja Nick, decides to expand eastward and takes a big bite out of Stankmut. HRE intensifies, but this is just the migration of Proto-Castile. Sabs is hanging on in both ways here, but what happened? Finally, the unification of not Northern Ireland under the Runic. Jolly good. How does this work? Is it just random, or do players make decisions somehow? Decisions are being made. How they're being made, you'd have to ask the game. Okay, it is the counterattack by Stankmut. Eternal Ace finding themselves absolutely crushed on two fronts. Maharaja Nick has taken over a lot of uncored land, though. And oh god, they've even lost their ancestral homelands in Italy to the Bad Ideas guy, finally breaking out of North Africa. Krumer tries once again to exist. They have fought for their freedom, and they hold on to two cities. They decided to join the Maharaja Nick 229 pact, all in the hopes that he'll get some land off of Eternal Ace. It's very malleable, right? Lose land, gain land, but my god, Maharaja Nick has struck back like hell on earth. Jason Myers and Crazy Dave still exist over within Stankmut. And if Stankmut keeps getting their teeth kicked in, those nations could... well, Crazy Dave can just die, but Jason Myers is coming out. How's Jason Myers holding his own here? He has equal combat efficiency and much worse gold, so I don't think they're going to hold on particularly well. In fact, making peace, making barely peace. Maharaja Nick is doing phenomenally well, though. They couldn't win the Reconquista, so they grabbed enough land in the HRE to Reconquista. The pig is back, baby! Oh my, I really rather like this. Maybe pig in trouble. Pig not like this. I suppose the names the names I took from the chat list, so all the names that you submitted have been thrown in. What I would like is a way to very quickly grab the username list from Twitch, so I can put in the viewers instantly. I don't expect this game to integrate with Twitch anytime soon, but it's something that I could very quickly do myself. One of the problems is I haven't figured out a way to quickly get that list. I know I can click on the users in chat list and grab it here, but if I copy-paste that, it's also full of extra line breaks that are not particularly useful. Eternal Ace is down, but not out. Maharaja Nick must pay for what he's done. He's out of gold, he's out of army, and Eternal Ace is back with a vengeance. Also, it makes note of all the kills that they've done, which is badass. Brelix died to you. The Bad Ideas guys died to you twice. Jolly good. Let's keep an eye on alliances and see if Eternal Ace can bring it all back. Eternal Ace still has his cores around here. Gotta hand it to Jason. He's really capitalized on the collapse of Stankmut's USSR. If you copy the list from the community and then paste it into Word, it gets rid of line breaks for you. I just tested it. Thank you. My idea is maybe weekly or monthly or something like that. Have people fight it out, and something like the top 10 will get VIPs. It was a fun wee thing to have it during the not Yes, Your Majesty, King of the Castle streams. There we go. Stankmut's actually fighting back, and being able to take care of the revolts is a huge part, because if you kill a revolt, you'll get a core on the land that revolted. It's actually a quite cost-effective way to deal with it. Chief Irons is the rock holding Europe together. What, from Greece? But he's still together with Eternal Ace in the Eternal Chief Irons Alliance. Wow, Sabs. Sabs had to hold on against the onslaught and has actually struck back amazingly well. Maharaja Nick could not hold on to the union of HRE and Iberia and is suffering for it. Wait, excuse me? Oh, your puppet master is Eternal Ace. Eternal Ace might someday consume Maharaja Nick. The Reconquista has worked out for Sondretti. We're down to 17 nations now, though. Countdown until the balkanization of Chief Irons. No, he won't be balkanized. He will be unionized under Soviet Union. Oh, but Chief Irons holds on to mini Greece. Oh boy, but he's under Rook's heel now. Rook consumes GLaDOS, consumed something else as well. Dear Lord. The Green Menace is real. Jason Myers gets cleaned up yet again. Kind of. Can someone stop USSR? Who is going to stop Stankmut right now? Stankmut would need to have a lot of rebellions, which could happen. Stankmut is full of non-cored land, but rebellion chance only increases while at war. Also, it doesn't look very good for Savs, does it? Fortunately, Savs had an extra life up in Iceland somehow. Dear Lord, who had Stankmut on their victories? The problem is with 100, and I could put in up to 200 nations here, it's very difficult to have some kind of gambling on this, but I would love to have some. Maybe I could have non-balanced starts, so we have a few front runners, and then you could bet on some of the front runners or on none of the front runners. I'm unsure. I need to figure this out. But that's why I'm doing this right now. That's why we do dry runs. You do a World War bingo. There are too many things to keep an eye on. You could have something in the bingo like Balkans has 10 different nations in it, and it's easily going to be overlooked. Seems like the big fight ended up being between Ruk and Stankmut. So the somewhat unioned Ottoman Empire is taking it to the USSR. They both have maxed out combat efficiency, but notably Stankmut has a lot more money, but also a lot more money being drained. Who's going to win it out? Line is collapsing for Rook. He's pushing back. You can see that Rook's actually gaining territory. If they make peace at any point near now. All right, Rook's combat efficiency has gone far up. He should be able to take a big bite out of the Eastern Menace. And he's going for another bite. Rook is hungry for vengeance. He's confusing Stankmut with the one that killed Alette. Come now, it is every daughter's dream to give her life for her father. Eternal Ace is back, baby! Oh, Lord! The clay is real. But there's no great bonding here. The Chief Iron's alliance with Eternal Ace has broken down. We now have the Rook Syndicate. Truly, the West has fallen. Good God! Never count out the Eternal Ace. The clue is in the name. Don't count out Chief Irons either. He's barely holding on to Istra. Maharaja Nick is back once again, like the Renegade Master. You can see their active periods from when they've been wiped out. Jason Myers bided his time and finally took his well-needed bite out of Stankmut. But it can be very hard to become established at this kind of situation because you need a lot of cores, otherwise his land revolts. Your money's not going to do you any good. Chief Iron's just barely clinging on to life, but he would need some severe support. He's part of Operation Stankmut! This is like endgame missions in Command and Conquer here. You've been chased back to Archangel. You don't have much left for you, Stankmut, and Jason Myers is your nightmare. Good grief. Rook did amazing work to absolutely cripple the USSR, but the problem is he didn't count on Eternal Ace being the real problem. That said, maybe he did count on it. That was a really good bite to take out of Eternal Ace. All the while, Count Chocula is doing horrible damage over in the far west, but Eternal Ace has so much to draw upon as we go down to 9 nations. Correction, 10 nations. There are some insignificant powers. I swear Link has sat down in the bottom left here doing nothing all game. But maybe that's a winning strategy for them, because doing stuff tends to get you killed in Europe. The Pig's troops are, dead. They're very, very dead. He keeps trying to rise up, but the problem for you is every time you rise up and get killed, you give Jason Myers another core. Stankmut rises again. No, I think Stankmut gets put down again. Eternal Ace, just what is your income? It doesn't count because you're at war. When you're at war, your income almost always goes negative. You're integrating a puppet. Yeah, there we go. When not at war, Eternal Ace makes silly money. And that money can be invested in coring up their lands. Jason Myers is trying to be the resurgent USSR. You know, out of all the nations, Rook is the one I've got most promise for. Tucked away safely in the corner. Lots of cores in their heartland. Don't count out Rook. Especially when his main opponents tend to be killing each other. And he's pledged himself to Jason Myers, so he's very invested in crippling the Ace. Chief Irons, alive or dead. I wish I could speed the game up more at this point, because it becomes a real slog between the final powers. Good lord, the Turks just can't be stopped? I don't think Rook has faced any real significant setbacks. Come on, push the Eternal Ace.
Chief Irons is back, baby. The Stankmut League will rise again against literally everyone. I'm not so sure this is a winning move, Chief Irons. Just reduced to Naples plus a bit of Albania. That can't be good. Count Dracula's bided his time and is making his move, feasting on the remains of Eternal Ace. Rook double crosses Jason Myers, goes for almost full annexation. Oh, no banners for this saga. Count Dracula's fight to the death with Eternal Ace proves in Count Dracula's victory there. Good job. It's just no stopping Rook. He's hungry. Everywhere he looks, he sees slag. Is that truly RIP for Eternal Ace? Because it shows him still existing. What do you take him for? A joke? He lives on, without even a coastline in Northern Africa, whilst Link, who has bided his time the whole game, continues to chew away. This music is so good. I'm feeling hungry, says Slime Dragon. Well, Count Dracula's certainly hungry. He's trying to reenact what Maharaja Nick did earlier, but potentially with more success. Gobbles up the UK, takes care of revolts like they're not even there. Rook goes for counterattack, takes a small amount of land. And then there were 8, although I'm not really sure I can count Jason Myers in that. Jason Myers has been subjugated by Rook, so Rook's just going to annex Jason Myers soon enough, which I believe gives cores. We can actually see on this this city here. The rightful owner is Jason Myers, but when Myers gets annexed, I suspect Rook is going to get a core on that. There we go. Then there were 7. A lot of funding going on here. Count Dracula is getting a lot of money sent in. Practically everybody is sending money to Count Dracula. And I did turn that off because it gets a bit spammy early on, but I guess we could turn it on now. We can see that, oh yeah, the big war is going to be down to Rook versus Count Dracula. Yeah, that is spammy. Get out of here. Okay. Unless Link somehow rises up. Count Dracula is just destroying all the revolts that rise up. Very wisely so. Keep your combat efficiency high, make lots of money. Rook, however, is also dealing with revolts. I did say early on that Rook seemed to be in one of the stronger positions, tucked away in the corner with a very rich heartland of cored cities. Because even if Rook lost all of this, it's no big loss. They're non-cored cities. They just want to revolt anyway. All the while, Rook is making absurd amounts of money. Look at that. When at peace, he's about 3 times better than Count Dracula on income. Eternally Dying Ace is down and out, and he's just giving cores over to Rook here. Go back to the gold stats. There you go. Filthy freaking rich. There are really only 3 players left in the game. Rook, Dracula, and Link. It's not unthinkable that a massive revolt could bring in a new player to this. But I think Rook and Dracula both have the resources to put down any number of revolts. I say that, but what's Jason Myers doing? Dying, I think. Bye, Jason. Donk. Don't forget Irons. He's just biding his time. What city is Irons in? What city was Irons in? He's in Hungary, isn't he? Is that Balaton? Cool. Balaton mentioned. It's not Hungary, not anymore. Alright, chat, who do you think wins here? Dracula, Rook, or another unknown party? Because, wait a second. The Stankmut League actually unions Dracula and Rook in an alliance. How is this possible? How do we have the Grey Eminence up here in not even half of Scandinavia? It's not a good day to be Link. Was it ever a good day to be Link? He's actually part of the Stankmut League as well. When will that break? You imagine this as the east versus west border here. Looks hideous. Count Dracula seized territory from their puppet, Eternal Ace. There we go, the alliance is broken. Count Dracula goes on the attack, takes a big chunk out of Rook. Rook faces revolts. The Stankmut League is dead, and now Stankmut has been subjugated by Rook. In terms of gold, they're fairly equal. In terms of income, well, probably not. But Dracula is destroying Rook. How is this possible? Dracula has no real combat ability and has worse gold than Rook, but that doesn't change the fact that Rook lost the land. Is it time for Rook's counterattack? They both have pathetically weak armies. Good lord. Kind of ignoring revolts now. It's a fight to the death between them. And I gotta say, it's Dracula's time to shine. I wonder what Count Dracula's domestic policies are going to be for Greater Europe. Probably mandatory HIV checks for everybody. Alright, the Rook counterattack. Remember, he's still got his heartlands over here. Oh lord, he's back! He's back! Dark Young called it. Don't count Chief Irons out. Well, Link is no longer really a contender, but there are still three: Dracula, Rook, and Irons. First, he secures the RPD. Then he secures Raccoon City, and then all of Europe. Jason Myers is trying to capitalize on the troubles that Rook is having. Count Dracula is not holding the line against Rook anymore, but I think he's done enough damage that Rook could be considered dead and buried. If he can handle Chief Irons, that should be it. The thing is, Chief Irons is at peace with the Treaty of Count Dracula. Oh, I'm sorry, Irons, but that works for Count Dracula's favor a lot more than yours, because Dracula can eat Rook. You have nothing you can eat. You're a glorified subject of the Count. Nobody can handle Chief Irons, Jake. Who could handle a man that set off nerve gas alarms in his own workplace? Eternal Ace, part of the Treaty of Rook. Rook tries so hard, but he no longer has the money to sustain these kinds of wars, because as soon as he goes broke, his line will collapse entirely, or he'll make peace. Dracula gobbles up any revolts that there are. Dracula's name is giving me a seizure. Chief Irons is more concerned with stability and security than petty war, and that's why he's trying to clean up Eternal Ace, and the Stankmut Rebellion, and the Eternal Ace Rebellion again. Well, this is a good way to get cores, have rebellions and kill them. But you won't have rebellions if you just core your land in the first place. Oh my, you actually subjugated Stankmut. Count Dracula has all of the gold and most of the land. And now it is simply Dracula and Chief Irons. I gotta say, I don't fancy Irons' chances here, although he does have double the combat efficiency of Dracula. He could not sustain a prolonged war. Oh god. Chief Irons got subjugated by Count Dracula. Unless he rises up and wins, all of Europe is going to be under the Count. You can't do it, Irons. Hold the line, Chief. To be fair, Irons' policy of just holding on for internal security does mean his land is almost fully cored. The problem is, Dracula is so incredibly rich. We can actually have a quick look at coring, by the way, if you wondered how that's working. The nations must pay to get these cores, and it's going to cost Dracula a ton to get another. There we go. Count Dracula spends 57,000 gold on a new core. But if Irons does it... Oh, well, Irons is is just subjugated here. Because they're at peace now, there aren't going to be any more revolts because... well, maybe there will be. Revolt progress. A revolt can happen above 100%. It goes down during peace, but there's been so much war. Revolt's progress is in the 4 digits. Irons! If you don't defeat Dracula, all of Europe falls to the Count. I understand there might be people watching that don't know who Chief Irons is. He's the head of the Raccoon City Police Department in the Resident Evil franchise. I'm a huge Resident Evil fan. Anything to know about the games that are actually good, I know it. Poor Chief Irons, though, he got character assassinated in the remake of Resident Evil 2. I'm not happy what they did with him. He was never a good guy, but at least he was a bit nuanced. Come on, Chief, you've been through worse. He has, that's the thing. A bit of the problem is because he is a subject of the Count can just annex chunks of lands off him. You see that? Just chomp, chomp, chomp. So I don't think Irons is long for this world. Rook certainly isn't. Oh, man, I really would have backed Rook for victory. I can't believe Dracula achieved what he did, because he just had a tiny bit of land in Iberia. But he capitalized on the corpse of Eternal Ace. And I think very soon we're going to see just one nation left on the map. Chief Irons tries to revolt. Come on, Chief! Ah, dead, deader than dead. A few paltry revolts try and stop the Count, but it's not going to be enough. Freedom dies in Greece. Yeah, these revolts are only serving to give Count Dracula cores. None of them could reasonably stand up to the Count. They try. God bless them, they try. Chief! And it's not just holding the land, it's administrating the land. But with all this, the cores that Dracula's getting, he just makes sure he has even more money. That said, this constant state of war is bankrupting him. But even a moment of peace, and he makes the boon dollar. Look at how quickly it surges up. Kills them at 13k, then 14, 15, 16, 17, 18k. The Count can handle this. The Count can count. I guess Dracula wins the VIP. Yeah, as you can see, there are some things to sort out for this, so that we can have a good, proper, yet also fair and balanced fight. I do like the fact that it includes custom names, but the custom names overshadow the actual chatter names by something like 4 to 1. So what I wanted to do was have something where, say, I grab the active chatters at the moment, or maybe even make it more narcissistic and make it the active subscribers at the moment, put them in guaranteed, and then put in a mix of the custom submitted characters. But then I need to check for duplicates. Basically, I need to have a streamlined process that can be done in under a minute, so that I can put the names in. You don't do it inside the game. There's a JSON file inside app data to add the names into, and I reckon that's what I'll do. Notepad++ is good for removing line breaks. Is it? I need to figure out how that is done, because I couldn't see it, and line breaks were indeed a problem. Alright, I am very happy with that. You know, I'm so happy I want to do it again, because this is a lot of fun. I don't like overdoing these things, though, because then, you know, you don't get that big high anymore. But congratulations, Count Dracula, on your victory. Also, who submitted Count Dracula into the names list? Because I certainly did not. The question is, where do we go now? We have a lot of maps to do. We've got the world map. We've got a bigger world map. Europe, Americas, Asia, Africa, the USA, Oceania, Antarctica, Northern Europe, Arabian Sea, Nippon, Pangaea, I don't want to do that, Skull Island, and the Isle of Map. The USA seems ripe for war. Very good. Max world map with max countries. I think you're jumping the gun on that one. Let's randomize the world. We had 100. I don't want to do 200, especially for the poor USA. Let's put in 150, but I do put in maximum cities, because otherwise you just end up really with one city per country and they get annexed in a heartbeat. But let's go, Desro. Get those statistics up so we can see who's got the gold. I see Tingle there. All right, so I am not amazingly good at contemporary United States borders. I mean, I know this is Florida. I'm sure Texas is somewhere around here. This is California. I think Washington is here. Detroit's somewhere around here. And Maine is somewhere around here. Anyway, who's around here? We've got General Kenobi, Ubiquitous, Hatcake. Actually, these are hard to read without colors, so go and kill each other for a while so I can see you better. Looks like expansion is harder over here because of the ground type. See, these guys just flooded into their lands. Any standout names? There's Chumro. We've got Speed Races. Jason Myers is back. My beloved Flawn from Disgaea is there. Little Mac. Oh, Yuan Shao. I love Yuan Shao. Rance is up there. Speaking of love, the Stay Peasant is back. Pi 555 is there. The Hanseatic Patrician. Mr. Carrington. No, that's Mr. Barrington. Oh, please tell me Mr. Carrington is somewhere on the names list. Mr. Carrington from Perfect Dark, of course. Doc Spengler is there. Chuck Green is there with a fitting nation color. Andy Jason is in. Radar Car Driver. No one's going to get that reference. Ludwig II of Bavaria. I hope he dies. I don't like seeing that name at all. The USA as we know it. This beloved Flawn again. What are you, a love freak? Ah, Flawn. She got a bit character assassinated in later Disgaea games, but she's the only one for me. Hang on, how do I have Rants and Rants? I really need to look into duplicates on my list. However, this Rance has actually began... Well, he's subjugated, but immediately ended up fighting against Princess Daisy. Daisy, no, that is not a healthy fight for you to take. Actually, Princess Daisy is going ham up there. The Mushroom Kingdom must expand. Chuck Green is getting punished for it. If he loses his capital, he's dead. Do it for your daughter, Chuck. Oh, right, no, I'm sorry, you and your daughter are dead. All in the name of the monarch. Princess Toadstool Peach. Hang on, is Daisy Peach or is Daisy the other one? I'm not up with my Mario lore here. I'm up with my Imperative Greg lore, though. He survived a shotgun to the head and he's back for more. There are two Princess Daisies as well. There's no way I made that many duplicates. Maybe the game's random name selector doesn't check for duplicates. How curious. Furure Rika is over there. I wonder which cycle she's on now. Anyway, let's ratchet that thing up. Go and kill each other. But Yuan Shao, you do the killing. Don't get killed. Who do I really want to do? Oh, Father Loris is here. And he's made the Andy Jason pact. Alright, go Father Loris, go Flawn, go Yuan Shao. Wait, where's Flawn? Flawn! What happened? Meanwhile, Princess Daisy's making quite an impact. Quite a mess over here. Hopefully something coalesces, but it's hard for war to happen in unstable terrain. It's Ubiquitous, who lost big in the weekly one-shot. Well, maybe he can come back this time. Yuan Shao's not looking too hot. Little Mac is doing great, though. Who do we have? Uela. Uela's from the Enshuli game. Kamidori, I believe. Oh, man. All my favorites are dying. Where's Yuan Shao? Sun Tzu, you are not my chosen one. Princess Daisy was holding there, but not doing much with it, nor is she coring her land particularly well. Ludwig dropping all of his lore on the battlefield. I don't want to be reminded of Ludwig. I can't stand him. Mr. Maze is coming up the ranks, and he's just sitting pretty here in the middle here. Can't be very nice being in the center surrounded by foes on all sides. You know when you get that 4X game and your spawn is just, oh, I have no safe area as well, isn't this horrible? Like what we had recently in Dominions. Much nicer to be somewhere a bit safer, like, say, Sleepy Med. Sleepy Med's in a great position. You've got food, you just eat Fan of Gaming at your leisure, and you've got a fairly simple front to defend. That said, though, those that come out of those tumultuous situations on top are forces to be reckoned with. Host of the Most not doing too shabby. Princess Daisy just imploded. Yeah, Spooky from Spooky's House of Jump Scares doing well. Again, not someone that you want near Rance. Spooky is actually a man, though, so... Rance has conflicting things he's said about such people. Anyway, Spooky's doing alright, so go you. I really enjoyed Spooky's House of Jump Scare. Excellent Spooky game, by the way. Who's up here? Is that Master Chief? Wow. What are you doing, Master Chief? I have no idea what that icon means. Master Chief's just chilling up there, hoping that someday his series stops being terrible. Spooky is really driving it home. They rebel, Spooky consumes. Oh, I'm happy to see that. Very happy to see that. Chilling in Bellingham, the Canadian Master Chief. Factorio engineers really sussing out what to do, automating the destruction of his enemies. Although, can he handle Sir Longarm? I don't know if we have Lord Woolsock around here, but Sir Longarm is killing Agent Chieftain, who barely holds on here. Agents are go as you barely try and fight Baba. Is Baba you? Come on, Chief. Oh, it doesn't look so good for the Chief. Thrown away to the corner here. Lenaru comes and destroys Spooky in one shot. Wow, geez, what an absolute annexation there. Lenaru's no way going to be able to hold on to that land, but you did kill Spooky dead. Bad Ideas guy is not living up to his name, doing pretty well with the Bad Idea Guy Union. Who would join such an alliance? Did not expect these names coming out. Celestial NL coming out. Little Mac failing to hold on to Florida. The real Imperator. The fifth Rome. It was Florida all along. Oh boy, Little Mac got bald-bulled badly. Mucus holding on to the south here. Imperative Greg doing a great job here. Yeah, do we have any Floridians in chat at this moment? Now, there's no way all you methed out heads would be awake at this hour, but perchance, maybe some of you are still awake at this point. Just horrible, revolting swamp down here. Welcome back, Mr. Maze. What do you mean, welcome back? Mr. Maze has never been annexed. You can always check up here to see if any nation has actually ceased to exist. For example, Lenaru. They revolted out of Spooky. What a hell of a revolt that was. You know, Spooky had all this. Lenaru just not only revolted, but full annexed who he revolted out of. Radar Car Driver is another OG survivor. So is Lelouch. Pi has survived. Fan of Gaming. I talked about Fan of Gaming like he was food earlier on, but he has consumed. Princess Daisy seems to have migrated. I thought she died, but it seems that... Oh, this is Princess Daisy number 2, isn't it? Lenaru, I said you wouldn't be able to hold on to that land, and you couldn't. Kako Demon absorbed about 2/3 of you, and then subjugated the rest, and isn't done with that. They keep on going. Making America proud with the overconsumption fan. I live in northern Barrington, says Ackables. Wasn't Barrington over here? Oh, right. In the real world. I thought you meant you're a nation over here, Ackables. Are you on the names list? This is a great opportunity for me to plug the fact that I use a names list, which has been contributed to by mostly you. Surely somebody has the link in chat. You can just go in and comment in either your own handle
and then you'll appear in slugfests like this that we have on the channel. Or put in some fictional names that we might know and love. I don't tend to put names in if I don't know or care about them, so if you put in the entire cast of Star Wars, I'm just going to glaze over and delete them all. But if we didn't have, say, for example, Lord Woolsack from Stronghold already, I'd absolutely want him in. Mr. Maze is doing terrifically well. I guess you really do not mess with Texas. Absolutely obliterating in the south. Who's he allying with in the Mr. Maze Commonwealth? Amazing. You got Stony and Der Kleingauss, but Mucus is coming to destroy you. Oh, God. Just as we were celebrating the rise of Mr. Maze, Mucus comes and puts him out of his misery? Question mark. Where even is this in the States? Is this northern Texas? What's north of Texas? I don't know. I don't care. It is a real slugfest. We started with 150 of you losers, and now there are only 43. With Fan of Gaming having the most gold out of everyone. Can he unite the 13 colonies? Oh, Oklahoma. I had some Okie friends in university who I have not at all kept in touch with since the end of university. To be honest, they were all kind of weird. Very kind and polite, but very weird. I'm so glad not to see Ludwig on the map, though. Tingle, you're another face I don't want to see on the map, but you are part of the Factorio Engineer League. Agent Chieftain survived. OG survivor as well, never annexed. Wow. Oh, but Pi certainly is going down. Bye, Pi. Agent Chieftain here. Elite Beat Divas here. Actually, there are no Elite Beat Divas. What are you up to, Fan of Gaming? You're part of the Lenharu Pact. That's actually a pretty good alliance to have. If you can crush Karl van Egmond, you're going to have a lot of land to deal with. Fan of Gaming seems to be dealing with the brunt of the fight here while Lenharu does a land grab, but it seems to not work out well for either of them. Can't stop Karl. Whew. Chieftain just eliminated the Master Chief. Well, Chieftain might not be long for this world. Ooh, barely holding on. But you just got subjugated. Yeah, Factorio Engineer became your master. But that might not last long either, because Factorio Engineer is not too good. His league is getting destroyed by biters. Okay, the counterattack on Karel. He did a land grab. Can he hold the land? Absolutely Rhine-landing this one. Whoa! We've got the biggest union to date, the Karl van Egmond Commonwealth. As if wealth were common. Like I was saying, it's a pretty grim situation to be stuck in the Thunderdome, but if you rise up against all others, you're a hell of a force to be reckoned with. And look at all the cores that Karl has. His center here is extremely wealthy and unioned. Meanwhile, Lelouch realizes that he has no chance of absorbing 11s here, so he takes over Lenharu. Agent Chieftain, no! Boy, we do not have a lot of OG members anymore, but Fan of Gaming remains unannexed, as Ubiquitous tries to change that desperately. The radar car driver was never long for this world. Green is core and white are non-cores. Yes, and non-cores build up revolt risk. Let's see this unknown city here. It's got 518% revolt risk, so it's very likely to revolt. Its core is host with the most, and it costs a lot of money to establish a core. I think there are 3 ways to get a core. If you revolt with a land, you get the core on that. If you defeat a revolt, you get a core on their lands. And if you spend money, you can get a core. But the more cities you have, the more it costs to get a core. I'm not sure if it's based on cities or existing cores. Probably existing cores. Oh man. Looks very good for Karl right now. You have unioned about half of the United States here. However, and there's always a however, we said the same thing about Stankmut over in Europe. And what happened to Stankmut? Well, they were the Grey Eminence because they led the Stankmut Alliance, but they did eventually die. Got the revolts coming out, but they don't seem to be lasting. Karl's doing very good here.
Factorio Engineer really bounced back. I, honest to God, thought he was dead in the water. He is fighting against Rene, who continues to live on. How many OGs do we have anyway? Factorio is an original gangster. Der Klein Gauss is. Lush is unannexed. Karel is unannexed. I'm Techno Maestro. Where is this? This is Texas, surely. Where in Texas is this? They have held on, but I don't think they're long for the world because Karel is their overlord. And yeah, Fan of Gaming remains an unconquerable bastion of northern USA. That's El Paso, I think. Okay, well, don't mess with El Paso. 54 is not an OG. Excellent pronunciation of Der Klein Gauss. Well, I learned from the best. That Beast Within game was so good until Chapter 4. Gabriel Knight, the Beast Within. Mucus, you absolutely dominated Texas, and then you've since been punched clean by Carol. But we're down to 24 nations. Remember, we started with 150. Oh, did Karel overextend? He's got good money and he's got good combat efficiency. The problem is he's at war with everybody. And his allies are not really in a position to help him, are they? They're all the way back here. So Mucus 54, Lelouch, Der Klein Gauss, Bad Ideas Guy, all revolting to land grab against Karel. Can Karel hold? I don't think so. Lost a massive amount of land, including some good cores, although they still have a ton of good cores over here on the eastern edge. Although, what's Celestial NL trying to do? It's not a good day to be Karel. Not a good day at all. Although, can Mucus hold? Mucus is out of money and out of combat efficiency. They wisely made peace. But Karel is just being fought by war after war. Fan, no! Fan tried to go for a land grab there and just ended up puppeted. But remember, puppeted isn't annexed. Puppeted isn't annexed, Fan of Gaming. Karel says, no, that was my land. Regains a lot of his cores. Mucus fighting back so hard, but does not have the resources to manage it. Karel's military is a wreck, though. Oh, boy. Lelouch and Factorio engineers just playing a pretty low profile after that big fight against Karel. Karel seems to have lost a little land, but still has a ton of power. Look at that. All that dosh flowing in. You might wonder what all these things happening on the map are. Those sudden surges of money are either donations, or if they're happening periodically, it's subjects giving money to their overlord, which is certainly putting Fan of Gaming not in a good position to amass any amount of generational wealth. Whenever Jake mentions something, the exact opposite happens. I can only say what I see. I thought they were missiles. It took me a while to figure it out as well. I was trying to figure out why all this was happening. But yeah, skulls pop up to show a nation dying. Swords fly up to show nations engaging in war. The gold things go around to show tribute and donations. And occasionally you'll see little birdies showing diplomacy. I'm not sure if Karel's going to do so hot here, but for some reason you buried the hatchet with Mucus and formed an alliance, and that is a terrifying alliance, especially seeing as the Western USA have not united in such a way. They're all still squabbling and killing each other. And during this time of peace, Karel is able to deal with revolts, gain tons of money, build up lots of cores. Barring a catastrophic failure on the battlefield, Karel's even got maximum combat efficiency, which did just drop, I saw that. It's not looking good for the West. Fat Miner is back. Oh boy, he has been and died aplenty. Agent Chieftain here. Factorio Engineer is doing his utmost to unite the West. But if you split the USA in half, East versus West, how much more powerful and resourceful is the East than the West? Because I'm guessing it's lots.
Again, I'm not that knowledgeable about contemporary USA. I haven't been to the States in over 7 years, I think. Yeah, massively. Not that the game here reflects that, because we have random allocation of nations and cities. But even based on that, it really feels like there are a lot more cities over on the east than the west. Although, man, they're really, really tight around here in Texas. If Factorio Engineer does not come up with a winning alliance rather than trying to kill 50 Ford and Klein Gauss the whole time, Karel's just going to steamroll them all. And maybe I was a bit wrong to name Factorio Engineer as the one with agency in that matter. Because even Agent Chieftain is cleaning them up now, as we drop down to 20 nations. See, Karel just has no threats in this area. If a revolt pops up like that, he just instantly kills them. Because he has the money, he has the resources to destroy them. Fan of game... Oh, bye, fan of gaming. Karel seized the last bit of land off of Fan. They are no longer an OG survivor. It's called the Mucus Alliance. Where do you get off making the alliance your titular holding? But I believe in a third candidate. Go on, name your candidate. Hey, Fan's back. No, he's just a skeletal remain. Even if he rises up, he either gets conquered or subjugated. Wow, 50 Ford. 50 Ford's problem is even if 50 Ford were to annex all of this right now, it's non-cord land. It's going to be revolting, and it's just not going to have the output that Karel van Egmond's land has. That said, they're trying their damnedest. Where's your capital, 50 Ford? Do we have a way of seeing the capital? I have actions that I can do, but nah, none of that. This is about hands off for me. So here's the capital. Where is this? Americans, where is this? I don't care about the state. What city is this? Imagine that being a capital of the second greatest nation in the continental states. Flyover country, Denver? Well, it's worryingly on the front line here, isn't it? Karel's capital at least seems a bit insulated, but yours is a beeline rush over there. But my god, 50 Ford is really trying. You did ally with some of the minor powers around here, absorbing the main threats, destroying the revolts. If 50 Ford can keep it together, and they do have massive combat efficiency and good gold for it, they might really be able to give Karel a run for his money, but Karel has got a lot more going for him. Very powerful ally, lots of cord land. And look at this, it's green as far as the eye can see. This is absolute safety for Karel. Meanwhile, 50 Ford's green land are on the border with Karel, meaning they'll be the first to fall. 50 Ford has things exactly the opposite of how he would like it, I'm sure. But, and this is a big but, if 50 Ford can drive a wedge between Karel and Mucus, maybe bring Mucus over to 50 Ford's side, then Karel suddenly has a massive front to worry. Lelouch, what are you doing? Lelouch fights into Karel and basically gifts that land to 50 Ford? Power play. Then again, Lelouch was always 3 steps ahead of his foes, wasn't he? Yeah, if the Treaty of Mucus does not dissolve, 50 Ford is in for a bad time, but if it does dissolve, Karel's in for a fairly bad time. And then we're down to only 13 nations, although I think it's safe to say there are only really 3 right now, unless you really think Pepe O'Hare is going to... Oh, never mind. Der Klein Gauss, no! You are not the new hope for the West. Oh, God. Oh, God. Mucus! He did it! I don't know if we can say this is 50 Ford's doing, but something was driven between Karel and Mucus, and now Mucus is out like a bat out of hell, destroying the bankrupt Karel von Egmond. Never saw it coming. The stab from the underbelly. There is hope for the West yet. The small Gaius is Gaius Julius Caesar, yeah.
Greater California has risen. 54's in a tumultuous situation. Lelouch had this planned all along. Is there anybody left who has not been annexed? I don't think there is. Everybody's died by now. Yeah, no original gangsters remain. Mucus has become the East, ruthlessly putting down any and all rebellions. And that's good because Mucus is in dire need of cores. Their prey had all the cores around here. Now Mucus needs to fight back to get the stability. That does make them a softer target for 54, but can 54 do it when they can't even handle their Klein Gauss? Can't even handle Pepe O'Hare, for God's sakes. You had to ally with them. But you subjugated Lelouch. Perhaps you can bring in his masterful strategies. We can see gold here. Let's have a look at income as well, though. Wow. Just wow. But it's time for war. Big war between them. So 54 has superior combat, but that income will not last. Mucus has pathetic army, but they can hold out in terms of money. So I suspect that 54 is going to make a good land grab, but unless they make quick peace, Mucus is going to destroy their bankrupt ass. Look at that money of 54. Down, 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 down. Gone. And now... oh, they're getting donations. Who's donating to 54? I think Klein and Pepe are sending all the money they have to 54, so 54 can afford this war. Yeah, look at that money coming in. It's the only thing keeping 54 around, but as soon as they're bankrupt, they can no longer pay for all this. Also, their Klein Gauss declared war on 54 as well. 54 is out of money, out of army, out of hope. Mucus is reclaiming all the land lost. A generous donation keeping 54 barely in this war. Absolute fight to the death between East and West. Are they making peace? They have made peace. Oof. That actually came out to 54's advantage. I'm very surprised to see. Meanwhile, Mucus is dealing with revolts, but that's actually, I think that's working to their benefit. Wiping out the threats while 54 is not destroying them. It does stop them from making money, whilst 54, whilst at peace, is able to generate a lot of income. Billions being burned over raised land. Truly, it's what we all want to see out of the States. It does look kind of ugly when it's not union, though, doesn't it? The 54 Pact includes Pepe O'Hare. Trust your instincts, 54. Wipe out Agent Chieftain again. 54 is really coming into those cores, though. Remember, Mucus had a lot of catching up to do in terms of cores. Oh, you just allied with Klein Gauss? It was a short-lived one, though. 54 is back again. Minor map alterations. Not even sure if a city changed hands. Lelouch is back. Oh, why is 54 crippled here? You've got the money, you've got the combat power. Mucus has more money, though. How can you tell cores? Cores are green, non-cores are white. White has revolt progress that rises when at war and lowers when at peace. So the best situation for both 54 and Mucus is just peace to get their cores, get their income. But what they should do is strike. One should strike the other when the other... See, Mucus's army right now is in a terrible state. 54's is in a brilliant state. But there's more. There's money, there are allies, and there's your combat ability. I think combat ability just randomly goes up and down. I haven't noticed any rhyme or reason to it. Says there are 6 nations on the map, but really there are 2. Barring a Count Dracula style rising. They're not missiles, that's money. Money is being sent from one to another. Did 54 just give money to Mucus, and why? Heavens knows. Maybe I should turn off donations. Seems kind of weird, but I do like the idea that 54 was being kept artificially alive through donations. We can turn it on, but it gets really spammy. If I turn on donations here, you'll see when money gets sent. Yeah, look at that. Mucus is sending loads of money to 50 Ford, probably because 50 Ford is fighting these people. I could turn off donations. It is an option. But we probably lose a lot of this visual stuff on the battlefield. Alright. Wait, what? They've created the 50 Ford syndicate between Mucus and 50 Ford. But why? The true union. Something you can enable is unification, so two nations can peacefully become one, but the names get really stupid, and I don't think there's a limit to how many unions you could have. So you could have the 50 Ford Mucus der Kleingauss fan of gaming nation. And it would be a real world salad. I hold in my hand a piece of paper. Peace for our time. Can't believe the 50 Ford syndicate here. Yeah, I guess it works to both of their advantages, right? They're both making tons of money. We can actually check income here, can't we? When 50 Ford is at peace, he makes 182. When Mucus is at peace, if he's ever at peace, he makes 437. At this rate, they're going to core all of their lands, and then they're going to get tired of peace and kill each other. Anyone remember this loser? Karl van Egmond? That's not to say that 50 Ford's going to lose. If Mucus does some poor spending and ends up at war whilst the money is low, or, oh, well, that didn't happen. You went at war when money was high and your combat ability was maxed. Meanwhile, 50 Ford has good money but not as good and has much worse combat efficiency. 50 Ford. Remember who you killed to become the West. I just want the Federated Union of Celtic Kingdoms and Scotland and Ireland and Wales joined together. Welsh? Celts? The Welsh are fairly neutered culture. Alright, so 50 Ford chooses this time to strike back because Mucus's combat ability is low and 50 Ford's gold is high. Can they push and reclaim? East versus West, lads. It was a bit of a land grab. He didn't grab anything of particular value. Notably, he grabbed a couple of your cores back, though. See this land here? Rightful owner 50 Ford. If 50 Ford took it back, they'd have a core. Just like that. No revolt problems, no income problems. Mucus strikes back, though. I bet they hate me calling them Mucus, but how am I meant to pronounce this? Mcus? Mcus? Succum? Scum? God knows, at least 50 Ford's obvious. It's not looking good for 50 Ford. One side just needs one big decisive win over the other. Don't scare me like that. The thing about 50 Ford's land is it's very hard to push through because it's all this horrible flyover state land. If 50 Ford can push into Mucus's land here, it's going to have a lot easier time pushing. This really is Clash of the Giants here. Need a top-hatted, bearded man to bring peace to the USA. Or put the U in USA. If they didn't want to be called Mucus, they would have chosen a different name. Mucus is there to say it's M-Cuss. But then there'd be something between the M and the K. I'll tell you what it's soon to be, though. Annexed. Because the West is the best in town. Oh my god, what is happening here? It's not that Mucus is particularly bad. It's just the West are so much better. Die. Good God. I think I've seen this operation in Hearts of Iron before. History is written by the victor, so Mucus it is. Although I was on 50 Ford's side here... Wait, what is this? 50 Ford somehow grabbed that? I guess it just revolted to you. I did not expect 50 Ford to do the push that they did. And all this is uncored land for them, so there's a very big risk of revolt, especially if they end up going bankrupt or having pathetic armies. Mucus is pushing back with every drop of gold he has, and he's doing a damn good job of it. Remember, these are core lands of Mucus, so that works very well for them. They've almost taken back all of the Easy Plains lands. 50 Ford. How could you let this happen? Good grief, you had all the advantages and you're losing them! Whoa. It's a lot of non-core land for Mucus to pick up. Bearing in mind that 50 Ford's capital is right here, and plop! Away it goes, and it's moving. Like the goalposts, the capital just keeps moving. MCUS is not giving 50 Ford a break, though. They see that 50 Ford is broke, they push. Then they push more. The non-cored land isn't great for MCUS, but 50 Ford losing cores is a big deal for them. Come on, I don't care about the rest of the land, but please just burn California to the ground. And there's still a chance for the Mr. Maze mystery. I don't think Mr. Maze has any cores anymore. Is this a Mr. Maze core? No, it's 50, I think everything is either a Mucus or 50 Ford core now. So we're not going to see any more rebellions. I suppose a rebellion can happen to shift the land from one to the other. I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure how that works. The West. West fallen, no. Yeah. Oh god. And now 50 Ford has just been puppeted by Mucus. That is game, set, and match. They're also forced to pay their money to Mucus. They try to rise up, but with less money coming in, what hope do they have? Mucus, even this was diabolical. They stole this city and then grabbed the land here, creating a pocket of 50 Ford land. 50 Ford revolted against their master. Yeah, and see what that... I love just seeing the money being poured out of them into Mucus. He's so rich, and that integration is working. When a nation has a puppet master, they'll be forced to donate gold every few years. Puppets also help their masters in wars. 50 Ford's had it up to here with Mucus. Will these minor victories bring the West back, though? The US in name, after all. What year is the US looking like this, though? I read a whole lot about the westward expansion of the USA. And I've forgotten just about everything I ever read about it. MCUS, mighty, crummy United States. 2026, hopefully. Could really do with another speed setting that goes above 5x at this point, because this hilly terrain is hell on the speed of battle. Look at that, though. MCUS has all the advantages. Look at that. Your combat efficiency and your money are far superior to 54. Just kill them. In fact, we should do exactly that. Fight to the death. That didn't seem like the death. Oh, maybe I have to choose the nation you fight to the death. Eh? Force a nation into a war that only ends when the other side doesn't exist. Fight them to the death. Oh. Oh. When the chips are down, you don't mess with the best. They're over in the West. Boom. This is, I don't know, our MCUS Preservation Society. I'll admit they're trying, and they're doing not bad, because 50 Ford has got a lot of non-core territory to look after. I still believe in MCUS. I think you have to do the fight to the death before they're already at war, and then they'll suss it out. Yeah, this is why the console commands don't work out so well, because it completely gets in the way of the other mechanics, forcing a nation into war when they're bankrupt. The West has not fallen. can't keep them down. They really want the East back. It's the power of a good rebellion. Look at that, because he's got all of his cores back. He's got some serious gold, and 54 is just not amassing the income needed. Alright, believe it or not, I got stuff I need to do today, so you're going to have to finish this off right about now, Funksaw brother, and I have a feeling it's not going to be good for 54, because he's got no money. Takes a long time to clear through these mountains, though. At this stage, the only winners are the makers of coffee. I don't think I get it. Oh, coffins! Been some serious deforestation in the USA to afford all those coffins. Unlike the eternal peace of the Count, America only knows what. I think that's a good message to come away with here. Because when MCUS finishes all of this off, are we just going to see 54 come back and kick the snot out of them? You're not done yet. Kill him. And then look who's back. Oh, he's trying. He's trying real hard. Endless war in the States, but I think we've seen it all. Anyway, I hope you can understand what I'm looking for in this game. I really like just having you guys kill each other. But there are a few things I need to suss out. I need to find a way to very quickly... I mean, how many people are in chat right now? 515. We can't fit that in. So I'll probably do something very nepotistic, and I'll grab every VIP and subscriber that is active and shove them in, and then make up the rest of the slots using the custom names list. That means I need a way to fetch all of those names, which might prove tricky, but I'll look into it. Or if you already know, please tell me, because that'll expedite the process. And I'd love to have little wars, I don't know, every 2 weeks, every month, something like that. I don't like to overdo fun things, because then they become too routine and not fun at all. And have that as our way to fight for VIPs, and then we will always have to kowtow to our betters because we know they killed us in battle. That is something for me to figure out. As for me, I will be back on Wednesday. Regular streaming will finally resume. I'm done with my time in Spain. Might even have a little trucking stream where I can talk about Spain and how glorious it was. And finally start that long play we voted on about a month ago with Diplomacy is Not Something Something. In any case, cheers for joining for my glorious victories today, plural. And until I am back again, it's cheerio.